Get ready to mash this party up. It's Rake and Script full non-stop. Hey! Rake and Script. Rake and Script. D-Max style. Rake and Script. Oh, yeah. Rake and Script. I see you coming from a mile away, girl. Rake and Script. I see ya coming. Girl, I see ya. Hey! She says she's a real good girl. She only goes to church then home. I say I'm a real good guy like Rake and Script. I stay in my zone. She says she don't party hard. I tell her I'm a party hard.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, the latest in the BEC bribe trial.
Still no answers as to why government delayed the release of that marathon Rubus fuel leak report.
A new Supreme Court justice sworn in today. Details straight ahead on our news.
Could post office employees be getting a new office space? That and more tonight on our news.
Welcome to our news. I'm Christina McNeil. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, after hours of deliberations, the 9-member jury in the BEC bribe trial has returned with a verdict. 79-year-old Fred Ramsey showed no emotion as the jury was divided on all counts. A jury has found 79-year-old Fred Ramsey guilty on 12 counts of bribery and not guilty on 2 counts of conspiracy to commit bribery. His attorney, Wayne Monroe, asked that a date be set for a constitutional motion and that a social inquiry record be ordered. He also asked that Ramsey be permitted to remain on bail in the interim. Ramsey has denied that he accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes from Alstom Power SA by providing officials with information from board meetings or using his connections to influence the decision. The allegations of bribery came to light when Alstom was fined $775 million after admitting to participating in a global scheme to pay officials to ensure they were awarded contracts. Alstom admitted to securing its contracts with BEC in this manner. Our news will have more details on the verdict in a later newscast. Well, a Supreme Court judge has allowed 5 alleged drug dealers to remain on bail pending an appeal against his decision supporting their extradition. Senior Justice Stephen Isaacs stayed the effect of his decision for 21 days to allow Austin Knowles, Nathaniel Knowles, Edson Watson, Sean Brewy, and former policeman Ian Bethel, who have been on bail since 2005, time to lodge a challenge against his decision in the Court of Appeal. Acting Foreign Affairs Minister Marcus Bethel granted the go-ahead for the extradition proceedings to commence against the men back in February 2003. Then Magistrate Carolito Bethel approved the extradition request in 2004 and committed the men to prison to await extradition. And Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson today dodged questions about the Rubus fuel leak report that was supposed to be made public. It's been 1 year since a retired justice was appointed to review the matter. Kyle Joaquin has the story.
That's also not a matter for me.
It's been a year since.
That's not a matter for me.
And that was pretty much all we got from the AG. On the matter. It's been a year since retired Justice Joseph Strawn was appointed to review why government sat on the findings of the Black and Veatch report into the Rubus fuel leak for over a year. That report found that some Marathon residents were possibly exposed to harmful chemicals in the air and groundwater and caused public outrage.
As a government, we understand we should have released the report sooner. For the failure to release it sooner, we express our sincere regret. We apologize.
But again, a year since his appointment to find an explanation, we have yet to hear of an outcome of the justice's review. And the AG says it's not a matter for her to respond to.
So we asked the AG, if she's not the one to answer that question, then who is?
It would be inappropriate for me to say anything about the report at all. Anything.
The AG was also asked why there still hasn't been any legislation on the government's National Intelligence Agency and whether Bahamians should be concerned.
No, I wouldn't be concerned. I will say I have some knowledge of it. Of course, it's primarily the matter for Minister of National Security, and I think that it will be brought imminently to Parliament this month. No, not at all.
For our news, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Meantime, Maynard Gibson says it would be a shame if the nation rejected the proposed amendments in the upcoming constitutional referendum. According to the AG, there are many individuals and groups spreading misinformation, and sadly, many of them have a lot of influence.
And I would like to say to all of you, especially as young people, that it would be such a shame to vote no for something that this referendum is not about. What it is about is in Bills 1, 2, and 3, conferring equal rights in the manner in which citizenship is given to men and women.
There is widespread concern over question 4, which seeks to end discrimination based on sex. Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins has said the transgender community's recent statements demanding equal rights has hurt any chance of people voting yes to the 4 questions. However, the AG disagrees.
This bill is not about the transgender community, and so we are focusing on what this is about. And in 2016, Bahamians are ready and anxious for June 7th to come so that they can vote yes to all 4, making it very clear that in today's Bahamas, talk to any young person, talk to grandparents, talk to mothers, and I'm saying plural because there are mothers who have had to come to the Bahamas with their infant child with a round-trip ticket. June 7th will bring an end to that.
Cheryl Grant Bethel was sworn in as Supreme Court Justice today at Government House. Simone Davis reports.
I, Cheryl Grant Bethel, do swear that I will and truly serve Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and will do right to all manner of people after the laws and usages of the Bahamas.
Whilst my background in prosecution has stood me in good stead in terms of knowing a keen trial strategy, you have to have sensitivity as well for the defendant, the preservation of the rule of law, and the rights of everyone under our shores. And so I have learned balance, I have learned consideration, and learned them in a real way. They were lessons that you learned at your mother's feet, but they are now things that you must practice before the court.
Last year, Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson appointed Grant Bethel acting Supreme Court judge, noting that she brings a depth of experience to the judicial system. Today, Grant Bethel says she plans to reduce the backlog of criminal matters.
I'm hoping that I will be able to assist with what they refer to constantly as the backlog in relation to criminal matters. I am also hoping that given my varied background in terms of my legal experience, that I will be able to assist in deepening jurisprudence. I have learned that the bench is extremely deep. The level of judicial knowledge is incredible in the Bahamas, and it's something I think that Bahamians can be proud of.
Back in 2010, while under the Ingram administration, Grant Bethel, who was Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions at the time, sued the government for sidestepping her for the director post. Grant Bethel was later named Deputy Law Reform Commissioner after Jamaican Vinette Graham Allen was named to the top post. Today, Maynard Gibson congratulated Bethel Grant on what she deemed a milestone.
She recognizes that it's a privilege to be a lawyer, and she approached every day with 100%. We have seen her on the bench as an acting judge, and I can say that it is our experience in the Office of the Attorney General that she brings that same zeal and commitment to her career on the bench.
Attorney Wayne Monroe said he is pleased that Bethel Grant will serve as Supreme Court Justice.
I must say, as a practitioner before the court, I'm very pleased with the steps that are being taken. I'm very pleased with the firmness of judges. And I'm very pleased with the taxation that I get day by day when you appear in the courts. It is really a matter where the jurisprudence of the Bahamas can only benefit by these advances.
Reporting for our news, I'm Simone Davis.
After the break, when will post office workers get relief from their poor working conditions? Our news has that and more on the other side of this break.